start my end. Welcome to West Side Girl Reacts. We're doing something a little bit different, giving Na and the other West Side Girls a break. We're going to talk to Mr. Will Duffy. And why don't I just have Will briefly explain why you're on my show?
Yeah, so I created something called the Final Experiment, which is something that we can do to settle the debate over whether or not we live on a flat Earth or a globe. And the experiment is very simple. We go to Antarctica this December to see whether or not there is a 24-hour sun. If there is, we live on a globe. If there's not, if the sun sets, we live on a flat Earth.
Okay, that's plain and simple. That's what I wanted. I'm not gonna. You've been interviewed hundreds of, well, not hundreds, but a lot of times, and it's always the same questions. So I'm gonna leave that out. My idea was, since I kind of like follow along with the flat Earth debunkers, and saw you on, it's like I think you're a good guy, and you know what? How about I pick up some songs that I think fit your trip to Antarctica with some flat earthers?
Sounds great.
Yeah, so depending on your time and how we're going, I got about 3 or 4 songs for you to listen to.
I'm
And I plan on running this as a whole episode all together, and then I'm going to cut you up into little pieces for my sake to get the more views. But I appreciate you doing this, and we're going to start off. And what kind of music do you like? Let's start with that. What do you listen to?
I've got a very strange taste in music.
Okay.
It's almost embarrassing to say. So my number one genre of music right now is worship music.
Okay, you are a pastor of a church. If you want to plug your church, I don't know the name of your church, but I know you are a pastor.
Yeah,
So,
I pastor a small church outside of Denver, Colorado.
okay,
But then I also listen to rap music.
okay,
So there's a very interesting combination there. And then I'm also a big fan of instrumental music as well.
all right. So I'm probably going to hit you with some stuff you've never heard of before, and that's the whole point of reaction videos, is to introduce you to something. And you appear to be in your 30s, so you're right in, like, am I right? You're in your 30s.
I wish I was. I'm not.
So you're a little bit older in the 40s then. So okay,
I'm in the
okay.
40s.
Okay, so we're going to start off with a song from the 80s. It was kind of on their comeback album by Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and it's called Southern Cross.
Oh, perfect.
And while you're in Antarctica, have you heard this song before?
No, but I have heard of the Southern Cross.
Okay, so the Southern Cross is visible from south of the equator, and it's like the North Star for us north the equator, and it's a little cross that points to an empty area in the sky where the rotational point of the Earth is. And you won't see it in Antarctica because it will be 24 hours of daylight, but when you're in Argentina waiting to go, you should be able to see the Southern Cross. You have no reason not to see the Southern Cross because it will be dark in Argentina. At least I think you're going to spend at least one night there so you can find the Southern Cross. So I'm going to play this song for you, and then you tell me about it, all right?
Sounds great.
All right, so. And again, it's Southern Cross by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Not Young. And this is the video from the 80s. So here we go.
Got out of town on a boat from the southern islands.
You can hear it?
Sailing to reach for a following sea. She was making for the trades on the outside, and the downhill run to Papa Ede. Off the wind on this heading line, the Marquesas. You got 80 feet of a water line, nicely making way in a noisy bar in Avalon. I tried to call you, but on a midnight watch I realized why twice you ran away. Think about how many times I had fallen. Spirits are using me and you know it will. When you see the Southern Cross for the first time, you understand now why you came this way. 'Cause the truth you might be running from is so small, but it's as big as the promise of a coming day. So I'm sailing for tomorrow, my dreams are dying, and my love is an anchor tied to you, tied with a silver chain. I have my ship, and all her flags are a-flying. She is all that I have left, and music is her name. Think about how many times I have fallen. Spirits are using me, Lord, your voice is calling. For heaven brought you and me, cannot be forgotten. I have been around the world, looking for that woman love, who knows love can endure, and you know it will, and you know it will.
Right. I do this with a girl from West Africa. You should see the internet problems.
Okay, cool. I'm fine just continuing. I'll do whatever.
Yeah, we're good to continue. You heard the whole song.
Yeah.
Okay, so Graham Nash, Stephen Stills, and I got to look up Crosby's first name, and I'm going to kill myself for not knowing it. But anyways, you can't beat their harmonies. So what did you think?
I thought it was great. There was a line in there, I think it said, when you see the Southern Cross for the first time. Was that the line?
Yeah, you understand why you came this way.
Yeah, that's so cool. So here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to make it my goal that if we see the Southern Cross down there and we're taking pictures of it or filming it or whatever, we play that song in the background.
That'll work.
I actually am a fan of 80s music. So
okay.
In high school, I worked at a sporting goods store, and they played 80s music in the store. And so I became pretty familiar with it, although I had not heard that song before.
Right. Yeah, like I said, this was kind of like they went away in the 70s because of disco and everything like that. And this was their comeback album, and it really hit big for them in late 80s. It got constant rotation on MTV and before VH1 even existed. So it was a pretty popular album. So let me ask you, what are you going to rate this song on a 1 to 10?
That's a good question. I'd give it a 7.
A 7. All right. Cool. For Southern Cross by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Now, the next song we're going to listen to is by a little group you've probably actually heard of, like you've heard of this, but Pink Floyd. And we're going to listen to their song off the appropriately titled album for your trip, Dark Side of the Moon. Nope, Dark Side of the Moon.
Okay.
What else would you play for Flat Earthers, right?
Don't forget about the Ice Wall.
Oh, yeah, I know. But we're going to listen to their song called Time, since we're looking for a 24-hour sun.
I like it.
So we're going to listen to Pink Floyd's Time off Dark Side of the Moon, one of the biggest selling albums of all time. I think it was finally beaten out by Michael Jackson.
Wow.
But it had something like 1,000 consecutive weeks on the top 100 best-selling album charts of all time. So it's a very popular album and a seminal album for the way it was recorded and produced and just the sound that came from. So we're going to listen to Pink Floyd, and Pink Floyd is Nick Mason, Richard Wright, David Gilmour, and Roger Waters. So let me share our screen with you. And here we go with Pink Floyd, Time.
faithful to their knees. Hear the softly spoken magic song.
All right, Time by Pink Floyd. My very first album I bought on CD. Now, I wouldn't have known 40 years later that I'd go out again to buy it on vinyl, but that's me. You're muted. Unmute.
Sorry about that.
It's okay?
That definitely sounded like music my dad listened to. I bet he listened to that album. Is that kind of 70s?
Yeah, that's definitely 70s. Pink Floyd showing their blues roots with that whole album, I think. It's a very blues inspired.
Yeah, it's definitely not my type of music, but I am impressed with the songs you're picking because there was a lyric in there that said, "The sun is racing around to come up behind you again. The sun is the same in a relative way."
But yep, there you go.
So very appropriate for what we're doing.
That's again why I'm picking these songs for you. I think they fit a trip to Antarctica. Now, I'm not sure about the next two quick ones we're going to do, but we'll see. So, give Pink Floyd Time a rating, please.
I'm going to have to give it a 5, and that's just for my taste.
Okay, we're both going to be flamed over that one. But okay, they have a very rabid fan base, but that makes things fun. And I'm not making anyone like songs, so.
Right.
Now, here we go with the next two songs. They're short, and they go together. They're both by the same band. And I like to call this style of rock smart rock. And
that's a new term for me.
Yeah, there's a few bands out there that I feel fit into this category, and they really make you think about it, or they try to be very correct with everything they do with their music and clever with their lyrics. And the name of this group is They Might Be Giants. And the name of the song is called Why Does the Sun Shine? And there's two versions of this song. One they did early in their career, and then I keep clicking on the wrong thing for me. And then they went and updated this when they did an album with all science songs called Why the Sun Really Shines. And it just goes to show you how science evolves. There's once something that's an idea or a theory, and then it changes. So they realized things were wrong in this song, and they'll correct it in the second song. But this one comes at you pretty fast, so you got to listen carefully. And again, They Might Be Giants, Why Does the Sun Shine? And here we go. Why Does the Sun Shine by They Might Be Giants. Now, in my real life, I'm an elementary school teacher, and I use this song all the time.
That was
Don't forget to... Yeah.
That was
a lot of good... You see why I call it smart rock. You learned a lot from that song.
Yeah, the rock genre must be a pretty loose category.
Yeah, I mean, it's all over the place. We're going to get to Celtic punk today, too. Because I couldn't let you go without doing a Pogue song for you.
Okay, yeah.
But anyways, as you saw, they said the sun is a massive incandescent gas. And that's wrong. Because we all know the sun is a miasma of plasma. And so maybe 15 years later... they corrected this song on their album. They Might Be Giants. Here Comes Science. And let me try to find that.
That's impressive to correct your own songs.
Yeah. And this one is done a little bit different. They Might Be Giants are the two Johns, John Flansburgh and John Linnell, and both New York guys. And one John plays the guitar, and the other John plays accordion and keyboards and triggering, which are all the weird sounds you're hearing. So now here is their correction of why does the sun really shine. And we're going to listen to this. Not as fast as the last one, but here we go. There we go. They have a long lead in.
The sun is a miasma of incandescent plasma. The sun's not simply made out of gas. No, no, no. The sun is a quagmire. It's not made of fire. Forget what you've been told in the past. Plasma. Electrons are free. Plasma. A fourth state of matter, not gas, not liquid, not solid. The sun is no red dwarf. I hope it never morphs into some supernova collapse. Or the sun is a miasma of incandescent plasma. I forget what I was told by myself. Plasma. Electrons are free. Plasma. A fourth state of matter, not gas, not liquid, not solid. Forget that song. Plasma. They got it wrong. That thesis has been rendered invalid.
Okay, why the sun really shines. They Might Be Giants. Correcting their thesis that was rendered invalid, as they said.
Yeah, I think they even quickly showed their previous video on the TV screen there.
Yeah, they did, just to not to listen to it. You gotta love a group that will come out and correct itself, just like a true scientist would.
Right.
But they're a fun little group to listen to, and like I said, I use them in school all the time. And we took my daughter to a kid show because they got a couple kids albums out and they do adult shows too. And we were at this one club, and it was all these adults walking around at this one club we've all been to during the day, but we've only seen it at nighttime. And how shocked we were on how this place actually looks. And we're like stopping our kids from touching things there where we spent numerous hours growing up. But it was a eye-opening experience. So enough about me. Let's hear, what did you think of them?
So on the educational side, I thought it was great. Not saying I agreed or even understood a lot of what they were saying, but just the fact that there's an educational aspect to the music I thought was fun. The music itself, not really my style.
Okay. So not going to get your style today. I don't know. Maybe. I think.
I will tell you, I did go through a punk phase.
Okay, that's what I'm mostly into. And
do you when you said, what did you say, Celtic punk?
Celtic punk.
When you said that, it brought a memory back. Does a band name Flogging Molly mean anything to you?
Flogging Molly is one of my favorites. I've seen them a couple of times. Dropkick Murphys. But neither of those groups would be anything because it's always the Pogues that come first.
Okay.
So the Pogues are the reason Flogging Molly and Dropkick Murphys exist. So we're going to... We're going to listen to one of my favorite Pogue songs, and I don't have many heroes, but Shane McGowan's passing last year really hit a nerve with me, and it was tough. I mean, like I said, I don't have many heroes, but he's one. He's a fantastic songwriter and just an interesting individual. And this is off the last album he did with the Pogues before they fired him from the band for his behavior. Definitely known as a drinker. And they put him out of the band, and he knew it was coming. And this whole album is like him saying goodbye to the band. He's expecting to be fired. And this one's called Sunny Side of the Street. And we're going to listen to the live version of it from Paris in 2012. It was their last tour where they all toured together. And they're all in their 60s at this time. You're not going to see the band, you're just going to listen to it. But he was in great voice at almost 60 years old, and a long life of hard living, let's put it that way. And this is called Sunny Side of the Street by the Pogues, written by the great Shane McGowan. Here we go. All right, the Pogues, Sunny Side of the Street from the Olympia Theater in Paris, 2012.
That was fun.
And
I've never heard of them, but it just brought back memories in that genre. Mostly,
yeah.
Mostly Flogging Molly.
Oh yeah, Flogging Molly, real good band, and they do a couple of Pogue songs too. One of their songs real similar to Turkish Song of the Damned by the Pogues. I can't think the name of it off the top of my head, but I like Flogging Molly, and they've performed undercards with the Pogues also.
Fun.
You can hear, you can see the influence they gave to Flogging Molly.
Oh yeah,
from there.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, definitely.
All right, so go on.
Do you want me to rate it?
Yeah, please.
I would probably do a 6 on that one.
6. You're a tough guy to crack, but we'll get to you.
Go
on.
I don't know if you ever got into ska, but I had a ska phase as well.
We just, Na and I, my current partner, I introduced her to ska, and we did Save It for Later by The Beat, Message to You, Rudy, and Madness One Step Beyond, which I recently just found is a cover song. That Madness weren't the creators of that song.
Oh, I didn't
but
know.
But I love ska and the whole black and white movement, or two-tone movement out of England. One of my favorite. I consider ska happy reggae.
Yeah.
Where reggae is telling you to fight the man, everything's miserable. Ska's like, nah, just relax, have some fun, and take it as it goes. But I love ska.
Is it still around?
Every so often it comes back, so we're due for another ska re-emergence. A couple new ska bands will come out, and it comes around every now and then.
Do you remember Less Than Jake?
Less Than Jake sounds familiar. I think, I couldn't recall a song they did, but I know the name.
Yeah, I was big into them. What about Five Iron Frenzy?
Five Iron Frenzy, I'm familiar with. I like them. Yeah.
They were actually from Colorado, so
okay.
I kind of grew up with them.
My one friend from grade school is a professor in Fort Collins.
Okay.
He's a seismologist. So he's another one I'll rib about. Have any flat earthers ever been in your classes and stuff?
Yeah, that's just up the highway from me.
Yeah. But I do thank you for coming on and taking the time to do this.
Yeah, I loved the creativity, and if I can, I'll try to play those songs, Southern Cross in South America and the Time in Antarctica.
Well, in Antarctica, everywhere is the sunny side of the street 24 hours.
Right. Yep, totally.
That's, again, why I picked that song. But no, I do thank you. And when I do post this, if you wouldn't mind giving it a share off the Final Experiment channel, I'd really appreciate that.
Will do. Yeah, I love the creativity. So thanks again.
Yeah, and no confirmation from Flat Earthers yet, huh?
Not yet, but maybe coming soon.
Okay, yeah.
Hopefully this week.
Yeah, I think Jaron may be ready to say, screw it, I'm going to go on my own. Because of the grief he's catching from all of this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been following that saga.
Yeah, I am. It's pretty sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's doing what's right. I mean, I don't agree with just about anything Jaron says, but at least he's standing to his guns that if you do something, you got to stick to it and just can't make it up to fit your narrative.
Yeah, he's by far the most courageous flat earther out there right now, by far.
Yeah, and that's why I voted for him. I'm like, out of all of them, he's the only one I would actually really trust to give an honest opinion of what he sees.
Yeah, I do trust him and Austin, so hopefully they'll both go.
Yeah. I hope you get to go, too. And, I mean, that was a really nice gesture of saying that you would give up your trip to make Jaron feel safe.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I thought that was really stand-up of you. And, again, thanks for doing this, and I'll have this probably up in a couple days once I clear copyright and stuff. But thanks again, Will.
Okay.
And good luck on your trip. And if I think of other songs before you go, maybe I'll make a playlist or have you on one last time.
I would do it again. Thanks so much.
All right. No problem. Thanks, Care.
Bye-bye.